Hey y'all. So, I hope you guys had an amazing day. And if not, make sure you make it an amazing night. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So, Temptation Island, the reunion. First, did Kendall do something with his teeth? His teeth seem a little smaller, that like he's a little, able to close his mouth a little better and actually keep it closed, because it seemed like before he struggled. I don't know if that's really like to me his teeth seem smaller, like maybe he got the front tooth shaved down or something. I don't know. Something is definitely different. But anyway, so I'm glad that he was not able to talk her into getting back together. I'm glad she, knows her worth and, wants something better for herself, and he ain't it. So when Mark brings up Alexis and Erica says, the things that he wanted from me, I don't see in this person. Not that, her saying, not that they're not there, it's just I don't see it. I don't think it registered in Alexa's head that she was not trying to insult her. And I think that when it did, because after she said, I'm a go getter, I went and got your man, girl, I don't think that anybody would be bothered by that, because especially when y'all ain't together, like you slept with him and he didn't treat you right. So, like that comment was not going to bother the majority of the people. But I think that it finally like registered, oh, she's not trying to insult me, and let me basically apologize, because I thought that she was the problem, and it really is him. She wasn't lying. He is really a piece of shit. Um, so I really want to know like what happened that one time that finally just made her like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like something had to happen, because them leaving together, unless she was able to see the show and like in between that time, or like what really happened that you decided to ghost him, because it seemed like he pretty much had you wrapped around his finger, obviously. And yeah, I really want to know. I wish she would have, gave a little bit more info on that situation. And when Mark calls over Nicole to the couch, like, I just want you to come over and sit with us, not anything else. That was pretty funny. Pretty funny. Um, yeah, so Nicole gets up there and basically tries to downplay it all. Like, Alexis, I was not trying to hurt you. I didn't set out to hurt you. There was nothing going on between me and Nicole. That's because you had to send her home. That's because time did not permit. But if time permitted, you would have taken her on that date. And who knows what would have happened after that. Now, like when Alexis said that Kendall brought Nicole into their bed, wasn't she the one who asked Nicole? Was it like Kendall asked her and then she asked him, or asked Nicole to come? Because to me, I always thought that that was something that she initiated and not him. That he was just able to reap the benefits of her wanting to experience a girl for the first time. But then when Nicole and Alexis are, kind of going at him, then he stops it like, well, let's not just, only talk about me. She had infidelity too. She kissed someone. There's no comparison. Even, I mean, at that point in time, obviously in her head, she knew she was done with you. So to her, she probably didn't cheat. She probably didn't feel like she cheated, because once she seen what you were doing, she just knew she was not going back to you. And as much as I really wish that her and Jesse would like give this a try, hopefully they still will. I'm glad that he was at least able to ask her the hard questions to actually really make her, you know, do better for herself and want better for herself, and not, just trying to take advantage of her, like, really legit being a friend. And then when Kendall tries to how do you try to insult somebody and then you, like, I rest my case? Like, no, I just told you, and she just told you, that I was not trying to take advantage of her. I was trying to make sure she knew what she wanted and not use me as a rebound. And he's like, oh, yeah, so I rest my case. No, we're on the same page. Like, Kendall tries to insult people that he feels aren't on his level. Jesse's cute. I don't think Kendall is that cute. I His teeth bothered me. The fact that, like, he was not able to keep his mouth. He just wasn't cute. Like, it just didn't matter. Like, big teeth or not, I don't think that Kendall was handsome at all. I think he thinks he's way too full of himself. Like, Jesse's all natural. Your Oriental black Beijing that you have painted on your hair, and your little mustache, like, your money obviously isn't doing you any good, because you have to insult other people. Like, I don't a person who is secure with himself does not have to put other people down. And especially, like, someone who is not an ugly guy, it makes no sense. But he felt that Jesse was irrelevant. But I think that if they had more time, she would have left with him, because he obviously gave her what you didn't in that little bit of time. And again, like I said, I hope that she does give him a chance. I hope she stays far away from Kendall. And then when he does say, I didn't mean to play, Alexis, that's not the type of person I am. Did you forget that we just watched you for the last how many episodes be that type of person? Because you didn't care about your girl's feelings, and you didn't care about Alexis's feelings, and you didn't care about Nicole's feelings. You just wanted to smash and do, live by the no rules as long as you could. You're on TV. Like, we see you. We see you. So anyway, Aaron and Corey, I think that Aaron definitely reverted back to the way that she was, like, the anger, because it really was not clear about, like, what Corey and Amanda did, if they hooked up, because then she said kissed, and then he said, we didn't kiss, or she told Shaq that, we hooked up, but we didn't have sex. I don't even know if I would have believed Shaq, honestly, if I was Aaron. And unless Corey would have admitted, okay, yeah, I kissed her. And do you not see why he didn't tell you? And I don't think because he didn't tell you that he is not a man. Like, I think when she says man up, I think he needs to sit her down. Like, what does that mean to you? Like, this, like, me taking the lead because and if I don't take the lead, I'm not the man. Like, I'm a quiet person, and that's just not my personality. That does not make him, not a man. And it, like, we didn't hear, like, okay, yeah, we did hear about the communication things, but we didn't, hear much about her saying, basically, he's a liar. And so I think that for some reason, just because she just heard about them supposedly hooking up, she's still mad, and she does not want to be hurt again, but she doesn't want to be embarrassed on TV. And I don't think she knew what anybody was going to say once they got to the show. So she had to put on this hard exterior, and she didn't learn. And it's not like, she didn't learn for herself because she does not know how to let go of the hardness and, like, I have to fight you before you fight me, basically, attitude. And then when Amanda says, I really wish you would have gave me credit for, your growth. And then Aaron says, yeah, and I asked him to. And it's just like, and I respect you, but 5 seconds later, it's just like, and you, but wait, you said you hooked up with him. How do you respect her? And you want to know all these things if you're finding out that she said that you got that her and Corey hooked up. Like, I don't really think that she just wasn't prepared, and the only thing she could do was, kind of be angry at him. And I still kind of I still think it was uncalled for. We don't really know what happened. I don't know if I would believe Shaq. And unless Corey, came out and told me, yeah, I did do this, and I think that would be the only way that I believed it. And when Corey said that him and Shaq, they're similar, and they are. And I believe, like, I wish they would have had Jawan there. I believe that if Shaq, like, if Aaron didn't keep Shaq there because she seen that he was like Corey. He was too much of a kiss ass and would have given in to her. She would have had to take the lead in the relationship again, and I believe that that's why she got rid of him, because not only was it wasn't just you that she was talking to. She was talking to Griffin, and she was talking to Juwan. So there was not that much of a connection. Nobody sends someone home that they have a connection with. That was just an excuse, and I think that she wishes she would have kept him there to, to have done something, not, full blown sex, but just to have to say, okay, you did this and so did I think that that's just, she wish she would have done something with somebody so she wouldn't feel so embarrassed of the fact that her boyfriend could have possibly hooked up with another woman. But I don't know if I would have believed Shaq. Like, what was your motive of telling her this? If she chose to leave with him, it doesn't matter, honestly. Like, were you just like, oh, I just want to make sure, like, what if they had talked about it, got over it, and then you reopen up a wound? Like, what was your motive? Like, she didn't choose you, dog. Like, it wasn't like it was between you and him. It was between you, Griffin, Jawan, and then Corey. Like, she didn't choose you. Go take that somewhere else. Like, there, I don't know why they had him there. I think that it was just because, I honestly don't know. I wish they would have had Jawan there, because I think Jawan would have been able to speak up, like, you are just like him. And because he said it to her. You like me because you can't run over me. And that's very true. Shaq was just a black Corey. And that's why she got rid of him, not because she had a connection. That you sound stupid. I mean, like, I really felt bad for Corey, her saying that she was leaving him, but I honestly do think that it's the best, because we never got to see how she is with him. And when everybody says, man up, if a person isn't confrontational, that does not make them any less of a man. It's just not how they choose to deal with things. And somebody saying that, they love you or pleading with you does not make them less of a man. He's cool with being in touch with his feelings, and I don't see anything wrong with that. You she is a bully. She doesn't come off as a bully. She is a bully. And it's not like it was said by Jawan, so it's obviously a thing, and we finally got to see it. And I don't know, like, what she meant by, him leaving her out to dry. How? I mean, maybe he obviously feels like, since he admitted to you about calling her, texting her, being in contact with her afterwards, or whatever happened between them two, however they hooked up. I don't think that he knew that he needed to say much else. I think that I think he said all that he could say with a person who is not confrontational. Like, the back and forth, you were never going to get that from him, no matter how confident he was. So I think that when we say, like, man up, we need to really understand what that is and what that entails in everybody, because everybody's definition of, well, yeah, everybody's definition of being a man is totally different. Doesn't make one more better than the other. Yeah, so I didn't understand. I didn't understand it the whole time. Like, the confidence thing, he doesn't want to be out partying and all that. That's the thing that you came there saying that you had an issue with, and you realized that you didn't need a man who was, like, basically just like your exes. And if he didn't learn anything, you for sure didn't learn anything either. So it's not like you can just put it all off on him. Um, Chelsea and Tom, for some reason, like, Chelsea, when she got back around him, like, the little puppy thing, like, she's not the Chelsea who was, like, on all those episodes. She's just not. Like, I don't know what it is. I mean, it's, I guess, if they, are able to fix their relationship, and he's able to stop flirting, and he is able to get over, her being with Blake. Because to me, I think he's going to throw that in her face for a very long time, because he didn't feel like he did anything wrong. And then when Sophia comes and she says, yeah, he was very respectful. He didn't do anything until okay, Sophia, so if you would have left with him, would you have been okay if he was off somewhere rubbing suntan lotion on somebody's butt and smacking it? Like, what do you mean? Like, would you be okay would you accept it in the relationship if you were with him? So I don't even know why they let her talk, because I don't remember anything else that she said. And then Blake, like, so obviously Chelsea made him believe that she was leaving alone. And where did she have time to find out that Blake wasn't genuine if you left him or if he had to leave you the day before you were going back to your to the final bonfire to say if you wanted to stay with Tom or not? Where were you able to find out that he wasn't genuine? And, like, what does she mean by it? I just, like, honestly, at last night, I kind of felt like, did Chelsea use Blake and Tom, me, to, like, make her feel better, make her feel wanted, make her feel like, okay, he flirts with all these women. Maybe sometimes he just makes her feel like she's not enough, and she needed somebody to give that to her. Because when Mark said about her and Tommy's relationship, like, they were friends, and he's like, but we were a little bit more than friends, and they were. If Tommy wouldn't have flirted with Erica, he would have got the draws. I definitely believe that. And because she just was so head over heels about him, and I think it was like maybe a little bit of a bad boy part, that he has in him, that she was so attracted to. I don't know what it is about Dr. Blake. Like, yeah, the little things that he said about the girls not liking the other dude and they were going to send him home. Who cares? That wasn't really, that's not a big deal, like, to a reason to not be with somebody. Like, what really happened between the two? Or is, like, I think that kind of Chelsea just used whoever she could to pass the time and make herself feel good about herself. And so we'll see if, well, I guess we really won't see unless we hear in somebody's article about them breaking up, or him, still out there flirting to his fullest extent, as he said. Kristen and Julian, congratulations on your engagement. And yeah, I hope you guys live happily ever after. Peace.